Air supremacy is the unspoken but vital key to contemporary warfare. Imagine gaining territory, securing positions, yet watching everything unravel if you lose control of the skies. This is the reality as France's formidable Mirage jets make their much-anticipated return to the Ukrainian conflict. In early 2025, when the first 6 Mirage 2005 fighter jets touched down on Ukrainian soil, it symbolized more than just new aircraft. It marked a strategic turning point. France was not merely sending jets, it was bestowing a significant historical and technological legacy of its air power upon Ukraine. Gone were the days of relying solely on Soviet-era MiG-29s and Su-27s. A new chapter was unfolding, the dawn of a jet era in Kyiv's ongoing struggle to adapt from Eastern to Western defense principles. The Mirage 2000-5F, the pride of the French Air Force, features a delta-wing design renowned for its agility and optimized architecture for air combat, particularly in medium-range engagements. Armed with advanced Mica missiles guided by sophisticated radar, these jets are equipped to perform air superiority missions and beyond. Rumors suggest that Ukrainian pilots received specialized training in France, with details about their bases being shrouded in secrecy for security. Yet, this initial shipment is just the beginning. With a relentless drive to modernize the Air Force, Ukrainian officials are in continuous dialogue with Paris about expanding deliveries. Dmytro Kuleba, a former foreign minister, confirmed that France may provide 20 Mirages instead of just 10. Speculation in European defense circles hints at the possibility of delivering between 24 to 30 further upgraded Mirage 2005 jets. What does this mean for Ukraine? Enhanced tactical capabilities are on the horizon. Imagine a powerful air force, not merely defending, but actively challenging enemy lines. As these modern aircraft begin to join the fray, they will redefine the balance of power, transforming the nature of engagements from mere ground forces to aerial dominance. But the stakes are much higher. The integration of these fighters is not only a strategic upgrade, it represents Ukraine's commitment to adopting a NATO-style operational framework, revolutionizing its military capabilities. This evolution signifies a shift toward a more robust aerial defense and an ability to counter threats with high precision. Can you picture the chaos when these jets deploy? The specific role of the Mirage 2005s extends beyond air superiority. They will disrupt supply lines and protect critical infrastructure like never before. As they rise in the sky, a new tide is turning. What happens next will echo throughout the region. Ukraine is preparing not just to resist, but to strike back. How far will the Mirage jets go in reshaping this conflict? They are already proving their worth. In March, during a significant missile and drone assault against Ukrainian facilities, these jets were deployed, showcasing their prowess. Russian forces launched a barrage of missiles and drones, but thanks to the Mirage jets, a multi-layered defense was mounted, thwarting many attacks. As the smoke cleared, it became apparent that the Mirage 2000-5F jets weren't just spectators, they were active participants, hunting down threats while executing real-time strikes. The Ukrainian forces reported the destruction of 134 aerial targets. Impressive coordinated attacks thwarted direct access to essential infrastructures, proving these fighters can pivot the tide of battle in their favor. By April 2025, the Mirages were hitting high-value Russian targets with precision. Guided strikes against command centers disrupted enemy operations, revealing an extraordinary capacity to launch targeted assaults. Imagine that, 30 enemy officers neutralized in a single exclamation of power and precision. Fast forward to August, and the Mirage jets are soaring high once more. Targeting vital supply depots across the border, they operate under a cloak of anonymity, their presence felt but seldom confirmed. With each mission, the nature of warfare in Ukraine evolves. What lies ahead? Will these aircraft merely defend, or is Ukraine gearing up for a more formidable presence? The deployment of the Mirage jets marks a shift, showing that Ukraine is adeptly refusing to be an easy target. The anticipation grows, each strike, each maneuver adjusts the essence of this enduring conflict. Keep watch, for the transformation has only just begun. In a groundbreaking shift for Ukraine's air capabilities, it was announced that France would supply a substantial number of Mirage 2005 fighter jets. Initially set to deliver 10, the commitment now appears to have expanded, with speculation suggesting a total of 20 to 30 modernized units. This development represents a significant escalation in the air defense game, and it's not just numbers at play. The strategic underpinnings of this support can't be overlooked. These aircraft, a mix of newly built and retrofitted variants, will be accompanied by a comprehensive logistics package. This includes not merely the jets themselves but essential spare parts, advanced maintenance frameworks, and an array of weaponry. Particularly noteworthy are the Mica missiles, which enhance the aircraft's firepower. Moreover, the integration of sophisticated electronic warfare systems, cutting-edge avionics, and data links like Link 16 is pivotal. These enhancements are tailored to seamlessly blend the Ukrainian Air Force into Western operational standards. As Ukraine's air capabilities evolve, it is not merely expanding its fleet, it is fundamentally transforming its combat operations to align with NATO methodologies. The introduction of Mirage jets heralds an era where Ukraine can effectively challenge the traditional air dominance of its opponents. With the second wave of aircraft deliveries anticipated to wrap up by early 2026, this shift promises to bolster Ukraine's defensive posture. The Mirage jets are expected to excel particularly in neutralizing enemy supply lines, countering drone incursions, and fortifying air defense around critical infrastructure. The impact of these additions was unmistakably felt during a series of high-stakes confrontations. In March, as Russia unleashed a barrage of missiles and drones targeting vital Ukrainian infrastructures, the Mirage 2005 FS sprang into action. With reports of over 100 kamikaze drones and dozens of cruise missiles deployed against Ukraine, the stakes were dire. Yet, the introduction of these advanced fighter jets represented not only a show of force but an unveiling of new capabilities in aerial warfare. As Ukraine faces these formidable threats, the Mirage jets provide a new layer of empowerment. Their active deployment during intense assaults illustrated a seasoned capability beyond mere deterrence. They executed precision strikes and real-time target acquisition, redefining the dynamics of aerial conflict. The implications of this transformation continue to ripple through the battlefield, posing significant questions about the future of regional security. What strategic advantages will derive from this integration, and how will it reshape confrontations moving forward? In a dramatic turn of events, Ukraine's air defense network sprang into action as the Russian forces unleashed a wave of destruction. Russian units launched an unprecedented assault, deploying 25 Kh-101 and Kh-55SM cruise missiles, 8 Caliber missiles, 1 Kh-59/69 guided missile, and over 100 Shahed kamikaze drones. It was chaos, but into this storm soared the French Mirage 2000-5F jets for the first time, marking a pivotal moment on the battlefield. These aircraft were not mere spectators, they transformed into powerful instruments of war. Their mission? To detect and eliminate threats with surgical precision. Amid the turbulent skies, the Ukrainian forces reported the destruction of 134 aerial targets. Remarkably, at least 10 incoming missiles were neutralized before they could wreak havoc. The incorporation of Scalp cruise missiles and AASM-guided bombs elevated this operation, signaling a shift from defensive maneuvers to a sophisticated deterrent strategy. As social media buzzed with excitement, a video emerged showcasing a Mirage 2000F gracefully soaring through Ukrainian airspace. This symbolized not just a delivery of fighter jets from France, but a direct and audacious involvement in the conflict. By April of 2025, the impact of these jets evolved into something greater, turning the tide in engagements across the region. The Ukrainian Air Force revealed a staggering triumph. They had executed precision strikes on 19 high-priority Russian targets along the Novosela axis. The list included operation centers, assembly areas for military convoys, and critical supply bases. The AASM hammer-guided bombs were carefully directed to coordinates pinpointed by reconnaissance drones, creating a lethal combination with the Mirage's advanced electro-optical targeting systems. In a particularly striking incident, the Mirage jets focused their sights on the headquarters of the Russian 81st Motorized Artillery Regiment. Intelligence reports indicated that around 30 Russian officers met their end in a meticulously planned assault involving Scalp missiles. This was more than just an air operation, it was a decisive strike against Russia's command structure, sending shockwaves through enemy lines. How would Russia retaliate? The stage was set for an epic confrontation, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Would the Mirage jets continue their reign of aerial dominance, or was a new tactical surprise on the horizon? The tension hangs heavy in the air. Previously, we learned how the Mirage jets shattered a key Russian artillery command center deep in hostile territory. This operation wasn't just a strike, it was a surgical blow to Russia's command and control nerves. Now, watch as the Mirage fighters return for another mission, pushing the boundaries of precision warfare right at Russia's doorstep. In August, the skies above the Ukrainian front ignited once again. French Mirage 2000-5F jets soared toward the target, the village of Tetino, nestled in the volatile Kursk Oblast region near the Russian border. Ukrainian intelligence had uncovered a secret, a critical ammunition depot and a hub for enemy troop assembly lay hidden there. Satellite photos and drone surveillance confirmed it, stacks of munitions inside the building, backed by active Russian personnel ready to mobilize. The plan was flawless. At low altitude, weaving beneath the radar sweep and electronic interference, one Mirage jet edged toward the border like a shadow slipping through the night. Shielded by electronic jamming and radar cloaking, it carried a weapon designed for deadly precision, the AASM hammer-guided bomb. Weighing 250 kilograms, this bomb could pierce thick reinforced concrete, guided by GPS and inertial navigation systems to its unsuspecting target. As the target locked, the pilot released the hammer bomb from 12 kilometers away. The aircraft veered off to safety while the bomb began its silent descent, tracing a ballistic arc toward the destination. Seconds stretched to minutes. Then, the first impact shattered the stillness, sending a thick cloud of dust billowing into the air. But that was only the beginning. What followed was a symphony of destruction. Secondary explosions erupted as the bomb ignited the munitions inside the depot. The devastation multiplied exponentially, intermittent blasts echoed through the region for 20 long minutes. Plumes of dense black smoke swirled upward, visible for miles like dark sentinels of ruin. The physical ruin was staggering, but the tactical fallout was just as critical. Russian troops stationed there were poised for redeployment, reshaping front lines and logistics. Instead, the attack paralyzed this shuffle. Supply chains jammed. Rotations stalled. The once bustling depot was transformed into a lethal reminder: Ukraine's new air power is rewriting the rules of the war. This was no ordinary strike, it was a statement. The Mirage jets had not only delivered a bomb but also a clear message: Ukraine can now dictate the tempo. From the shadows of enemy airspace, precision strikes are rewriting the balance, and the war is evolving with every deadly second overhead. What came next would push the limits of this emerging air dominance even further. The aftermath of the attack left the area unrecognizable, reduced to mere rubble. Satellite images shared among intelligence communities confirmed the devastation. But it wasn't just the physical destruction that mattered. The operational impact was profound. Russian troops, who were gathered for redeployment, found their plans shattered. This unexpected strike had disrupted not just logistics but also the entire flow of operations in the region. The French Mirage jets had delivered more than a powerful blow. They sent a deliberate message: Ukraine was no longer on the defensive. It was adjusting the tempo of warfare, capable of executing precise airstrikes close to enemy lines. What makes the Mirage 2000-5, a seemingly nostalgic aircraft from the 1980s, such a game-changer in modern combat? At first glance, its delta-wing silhouette might evoke memories of the past, but this jet is armed with cutting-edge technology that transforms it into a formidable predator in the skies over Ukraine. The heart of its power lies in the RDY-2 Doppler radar system, which can track and lock onto 8 targets at once, a crucial advantage against erratically flying missiles or swarms of enemy drones. But it's not just a weapon, It serves as a reconnaissance platform, mapping the battlefield and gathering vital intelligence. When engaging ground targets, the AASM Hammer bombs come into play. With precise guidance from GPS and laser systems, these bombs can hit targets from distances exceeding 50 kilometers. Their reinforced warheads are particularly lethal against ammunition depots and command centers, as proven in the earlier attacks. Yet, the true evolution lies in the integration of advanced cruise missiles like the SCA-LPG. With an operational range of up to 250 kilometers, these missiles evade radar detection, making them perfect for striking high-value targets deep behind enemy lines. This technology not only enhances offensive capabilities but also introduces a strategic layer of warfare that challenges conventional military tactics. As we observe these transformative developments, one might wonder, how does the Mirage defend itself against enemy fire? Thanks to modernization initiatives from the French Air Force, advanced countermeasure systems akin to Spectra have been fitted onto the Mirage jets. This innovation not only enhances their robustness in combat but also underscores their role as both a protective force and an offensive weapon. The stakes have never been higher. Ukraine's aerial strategy is becoming increasingly aggressive, establishing a new paradigm for modern warfare. With each flight, the Mirage jets redefine the boundaries of combat, leaving us to wonder, how will this evolution shift the balance of power in the skies? Previously, we saw how the introduction of long-range cruise missiles like the SCA-LPG to the Mirage 2005 dramatically shifted the firepower balance. With their stealthy approach, wave-tracking ability, and deep strike power, these missiles target critical enemy infrastructure, radar stations, air bases, and supply hubs, where it hurts most. But how do these jets survive the perilous skies bristling with radar-guided threats? The answer lies deep in advanced electronic defenses. Since the mid-2000s, the French Air Force has equipped the Mirage jets with an integrated countermeasure suite, akin to the Spectra system. This technology weaves together active radar jammers that confuse enemy sensors, infrared disruptors that scramble heat-seeking missiles, and rapid-fire dispensers releasing flares and chaff to blind incoming threats. Imagine the faint hum of electronic warfare, pulses of invisible waves bouncing off hostile radar like deflecting arrows, whispering a protective shield around these agile fighters. This suite dramatically improves the Mirage's chances against short to medium-range surface-to-air missiles, like the notorious Pantsir and Buk M1, turning what could be a death sentence into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Yet surviving the skies over a war zone demands more than just technology. Ukraine's Mirages fly mostly at medium altitudes to balance speed, stealth, and safety. Below them lurks a daunting network of defense rings, Patriot or Iris-T missile batteries, layering protection against potent Russian S-300 or TORM-2 surface-to-air missiles. These jets don't wander alone, instead, they operate in tightly coordinated groups, darting through guarded corridors. After striking their targets, the pilots rapidly ascend, vanishing into the protective skies, leaving enemies grasping at thin air. But who exactly pilots these sleek machines? France's support wasn't simply dropping off metal birds. Ukrainian aviators underwent intensive, specially designed training programs on French soil. The journey began in simulators, studying the intricacies of the Mirage's fly-by-wire controls, mastering a complex radar interface, and wielding the futuristic weapons system. From virtual skies, they graduated to live flights and precision drills with the AASMP-guided bombs. The historic Mont-de-Marsan airbase became their crucible of transformation. This transition was monumental, not just swapping one plane for another. These pilots left behind Soviet-era reflexes, the fast, hit-and-run style that defined their air tactics, embracing a whole new doctrine shaped by NATO. Multi-layered defense, networked communication, and coordinated strikes replaced lone wolf dogfights. It's a reinvention of aerial warfare skill, mindset, and strategy. The ripples of this shift are now undeniable. On September 5, 2025, at the MSPO Defense Exhibition in Poland, Sweden's Defense Minister Paul Johnson publicly acknowledged this evolution. Ukraine's Air Force is rapidly morphing into a sophisticated, Western-aligned force, ready to challenge an enemy long considered dominant in the skies above Eastern Europe. But what does this mean for the war's next chapter? Could these newly trained pilots and their finely tuned jets topple the old balance of power? Will electronic shields hold as missiles scream through the Baltic twilight? One thing is clear, the game in the sky has changed forever. Previously, we saw Ukraine shifting from outdated Soviet hit-and-run air tactics toward complex NATO-style operations. This transformation, though slow, is steadily unfolding. On September 5, 2025, at a defense exhibition in Poland, Sweden's Defense Minister Paul Johnson dropped a signal that stirred the airwaves. The possibility of Swedish Gripen jets joining Ukraine's arsenal was quietly entering official discussion. But how real is this prospect? In a statement to Breaking Defense, Johnson revealed, "We are in dialogue with Ukraine, and they are showing serious interest in the Gripen system, especially the Gripen E model." Until now, talk about equipping Ukraine with these aircraft was confined to private talks. Now, it is a matter of open consideration. Yet, Stockholm stresses that sending these jets during ongoing conflict is off the table. They would be delivered only after hostilities cease. This is far more than a delivery issue, it's a glimpse of Ukraine's future air force after the smoke clears. Why does the Gripen matter so much? It's not just a Swedish pride, it's an export fighter highly regarded worldwide. Brazil flies it. Thailand recently inked a deal for it, breaking years of stagnation. Although it lost out to giants like the F-35 and Rafale in some tenders, Saab's Gripen remains a serious contender, especially for countries balancing cost with cutting-edge capability. Ukraine's interest isn't new. For nearly 3 years, the Ukrainian leadership has lobbied Stockholm for older JAS-39C/D versions. In 2023, Sweden seriously evaluated transferring these jets, even offering pilot training. But allies sounded alarms, adding a third jet type to Ukraine's air fleet, already stretched with F-16 and Mirage 2005 integration efforts, risked bogging down training and logistics. NATO's message was clear: focus, streamline, then expand. So, Sweden's current stance is cautious. Gripen deployment may only resume talks after Ukraine finishes integrating F-16 fighters. Meanwhile, Sweden faces its own overhaul. By November 2024, it operated 70 Gripen C and 23 Gripen D jets, planning to replace them gradually with the newer Gripen E model. Is this hint from Stockholm a promise or a distant hope? Could Gripen jets one day soar over Ukraine, symbolizing a full NATO tether in the skies? Or will logistical hurdles and wartime realities keep these sleek fighters grounded? The next chapter awaits, but what happens if the wait drags on too long? Will Ukraine be ready to fly the Gripen dream when it finally arrives? And what risks come with juggling multiple aircraft types in the heat of war? The air above Eastern Europe is stirring, and every jet counts. In the shadow of the ongoing conflict, the landscape of modern air combat is undergoing a remarkable transformation. As countries unite to bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities, Sweden emerges on the radar with its advanced Gripen fighters. These aircraft, known for their agility and minimal infrastructure demands, might play a pivotal role in reshaping Ukraine's aerial warfare tactics. Picture this, it's November 2024. The Swedish Air Force maintains a fleet of 70 Gripen C and 23 Gripen D aircraft, but there's a plan in motion to upgrade to the next generation Gripen E. Fascinating, isn't it? However, there's a catch. If Sweden lends its older Gripens to Ukraine, how long will it take to replace them? It's a strategic game of chess with pieces that could be vulnerable. Currently, Sweden's defense authorities are cautious, discussing potential sales of the more advanced models only after the war has ceased. Meanwhile, Ukraine is in desperate need of nimble, cost-effective platforms like the Gripens, which excel in rapid deployment. But what sets the Gripen apart in this aerial battlefield? Born out of necessity to counter Russian threats, the Gripen offers unparalleled operational flexibility. It can launch from small airstrips, highways, and even narrow taxiways, making it an asset in a dynamic conflict environment. Imagine a location chosen for its accessibility rather than size, a game changer when under constant threat. Refueling, armament loading, and maintenance can be done swiftly, with a small team accomplishing tasks in under 10 minutes. The Gripen's arsenal is formidable as well. Equipped with advanced Meteor missiles for aerial engagements and various precision bombs for ground attacks, its low radar profile and agility make it an elusive target. But wait. This isn't merely about selling aircraft, it's about exporting a doctrine, a new way of thinking about air power. While the F-16 represents high-intensity conflict and the Mirage jets are about strategic strikes, the Gripen emphasizes mobility and dispersed defense. For Ukraine, this signifies not just immediate support but a roadmap for rebuilding its forces post-conflict. Is this the beginning of a new era? Can the integration of these diverse platforms forge a hybrid air force capable of adapting to any challenge? As the Gripens potentially prepare for deployment, one question lingers: can Ukraine adapt swiftly enough to turn the tides in this unforgiving conflict? Stay tuned, the answer could reshape the future of aerial warfare. The integration of advanced air power in Ukraine represents a critical evolution in modern warfare, positioning the nation on the front line of a new defense paradigm. As it stands, the Mirage jets from France signify a decisive shift toward an aggressive aerial strategy, while the F-16 fighter jets from the United States emphasize maintaining control over airspace. In contrast, Sweden's Gripen aircraft introduce a doctrine centered on mobility and versatility, promoting a decentralized defense strategy. This mixture of air capabilities is set to lay the foundation for Ukraine's future air force structure, transforming it into a dynamic hybrid force. Now, let's delve deeper into what this means for Ukraine as it navigates through turbulent times. Imagine for a moment the thunderous roar of jets slicing through the sky, their forms cutting sharp silhouettes against the horizon. But these aren't just any fighter jets, they are heralding a new era for Ukraine, a strategic overhaul. With the arrival of the Mirage and F-16, the frameworks of aerial combat have changed. But is Ukraine also eyeing Gripen? This question looms, especially as it transitions toward a robust defense posture. As we explore further, just what advantages does the Gripen bring to this evolving landscape? Designed to combat the Russian threat, this aircraft is not just a simple fighter. With its short takeoff and landing capabilities, it can utilize minimal infrastructure, making it a valuable asset in a country where resources might be stretched. Envision a lone technician preparing the aircraft for combat in under 10 minutes. This is the reality the Gripen offers. The Gripen's versatility is compelling. It's equipped to carry a diverse palette of munitions, from precision bombs to advanced standoff missiles. It can change tactics with the flick of a switch. What does this mean for air combat over Ukraine? The Gripen could enable rapid redeployment, allowing more fluid responses to enemy movements. As the Gripen program gains traction, it promises to be more than just air support. It's about weaving a fabric of defense that's as adaptable as it is potent. Sweden's strategy implies that their air doctrine will contribute to reshaping Ukraine's future defense mechanism. This brings to light a pivotal consideration: how will Ukraine synthesize these three different aircraft into a cohesive fighting force? Imagine a future where Ukraine's air power is a balanced blend, capable of launching strategic strikes, maintaining air superiority, and executing rapid attacks, each aircraft serving its distinct purpose yet working in harmony. This transition signifies not just a shift in military capability, it is a profound change in the psychological landscape of warfare itself. In the shadows of this unfolding drama lies one question that remains unanswered: will these aircraft bridge the gap in air effectiveness, elevating Ukraine to a competitive force? As we await unfolding developments, the stakes have never been higher. The journey is just beginning, and the echoes of jet engines will be heard for many years to come, marking not just a chapter in history, but a sublime narrative of resilience and adaptation in the face of adversity.